In 2014, Blue Shield of California Foundation, in partnership with the domestic violence field, launched the Culturally Responsive Domestic Violence Network, or CRDVN, a network of leaders throughout California who are teaming up to share best practices and identify common strategies to better reach domestic violence survivors from immigrant communities and communities of color.
The Foundation's mission when we started this work is and continues to be focusing on the health and safety of all Californians. And at the time that we launched the giving our grant making program, we were reflecting on that mission and really thinking about what does it mean to reach all Californians? Is the DV field reaching all Californians? Who's not being reached?
In November 2016, the network assembled more than 150 leaders and funders in the domestic violence field for a 2-day peer-led training institute in Berkeley, California.
The wonderful thing about today is that at this institute that we're able to really define what domestic violence and culturally responsive services are.
Culturally responsive service in the domestic violence field is for us to be able to see each and every victim survivor, their children, to see what their needs are.
It's not just one set of values or one set of priorities. It is looking at cultures across the state, across the country, across the world, and how we respond culturally to the issue of violence in our communities.
Network partners worked with their local communities to define and implement culturally responsive approaches to preventing and addressing domestic violence.
With CRDVN, we were able to develop a Korean Faith Advisory Council, which is made up of about 8 to 12 faith-based leaders. And we meet with them on a quarterly basis, and they are really becoming the leaders within our Korean faith community on how we build KFAM's domestic violence project and partnership with churches.
Like Korean American Family Services, the Center for the Pacific and Asian Family used the grant to develop community partnerships and to re-examine their standing practices.
Cambodian survivors would not necessarily come to CPAV office to get support. So we partner up with Families in Good Health in Long Beach, and they have a deep connection to Cambodian women. And we started a community garden with them. We were out there in the gardens with them talking about how to grow healthy vegetation as a way of connecting and a way of talking about how to heal.
The Mixteco Community Organizing Project is providing language access services to Indigenous women to ensure that they have a fair chance to convey their experiences and access justice.
En el condado de Ventura se considera que estamos 20,000 personas indígenas y es importante, sumamente importante que los servicios se brinden culturalmente apropiados, ya que somos comunidades que hablamos nuestro propio idioma, mixteco, zapoteco.
By sharing approaches and tactics, network partners have increased their capacity and impact in their communities.
It has increased the capacity both in direct services and also in policy-making spaces.
I think the network has created space for all of us to be able to really have those deeper conversations about what is challenging and also what has been successful.
So from our participation in CRDVN, we have been able to take a program that we had developed and practiced for 20 years and go through a really complex and important step of evaluating it and then sharing that evaluation with our peers who are trying to provide better and better culturally responsive services.
Looking ahead, the Culturally Responsive Domestic Violence Network seeks to expand, develop a statewide policy agenda, and provide leadership throughout California on culturally responsive practice.
In terms of the policy-making spaces, I feel this network can really make make a very good impact, because these are not necessarily the issues that mainstream domestic violence movements are following.
I think that the peer learning exchange and the other elements of the culturally responsive domestic violence network work planted a lot of seeds and even watered some of the seeds. But I think that, like with any plant, we still have to make sure that it continues to grow. We need to continue to feed it. We need to continue to water it, or a lot of what was starting to be beautiful won't be.
How can we take all of this experience that we've developed and shared and turn it into something that is a bit of a synthesized model? I think that we can move the whole state if we can make that very living product from our work together.